he can't do that. That's a problem.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, I just let him worry about school. So what, he can't chew bubble gum and walk at the same time? See, there is where we have a problem. Because that's going to be somebody's wife at some point. You feel me? I mean, somebody's husband. He's going to have a wife at some point, is what I'm saying. That's going to be the man of somebody's house at some point. So anytime I hear a woman like, oh, these N-words ain't crap. Well, a lot of times because y'all raised them that way. I'm just saying. It's Sports Kings Live. I'm Big Mike. He's Rob Calloway. We're being heard via Spreaker.com. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sports Kings Live. You guys download that app. Follow us, Sports Kings Live, and then hit the little thought bubble. You guys can get in on this conversation as well, like our guy, Mark Cooper, does each and every day so far. We'll be back. We can pick up this conversation a little bit on the other side, and we'll get into On This Day and then move forward into our NBA draft conversation. We'll be right back.
If you're a single man under the age of 35, you'd probably like to know what the ladies are looking for on an online dating site. A guy who had a few drinks and later got pulled over for buzzed driving. See, that could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And doesn't a guy who's back living with his parents but calls them my roommates just scream Mr. Right?
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man, Big Mike.
Yep, and this is RC, Rod Calloway.
First of all, we'd like to thank everybody for being down with the Kings and for supporting Sports Kings Live.
Your listens, downloads, likes, and follows have allowed this show to grow by leaps and bounds in just a few months.
Now, if you have a product or a business and you'd like to promote it on this show,
it's simple. Just email us at sportskingslive@gmail.com. And once again, thank you for being down with the Kings.
Yeah. I'm in my zone. I'm killing it. Big Mike, Rob Calloway, the Sports Kings here. Sports Kings Live. Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Heard via Spreaker.com and the Spreaker app for your Windows, Apple, Android device. Go ahead and download the app. Follow us, Sports Kings Live, and you guys can jump in on the conversations that we're having via our chat room. Just hit the little thought bubble. You'll be right in the mix. Also, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and Tumblr at Sports Kings Live. Rob will be tweeting out a link to said chat room and said website during the show, so make sure you guys are following us. Also, you can email us, sportskingslive@gmail.com. Now, I mentioned our Instagram account, and I mentioned our question of the day. I want to read some of these replies I got to the question of the day. I found my old lady's little bitty phone. Her this little Android phone she used to use, and I figured out how to get it, attached to just the Wi-Fi. But it's like reading ant writing. It's so small. Mrs. C 782 says, when I asked the question, is it support or is he enabling? She says, completely and utterly ridiculous. A coach's job is to win games and mentally prepare their players with a quote-unquote tough love approach. Winning UCLA gear and on their field, he isn't Diddy's son. The field should be an equalizer. He doesn't get special treatment because of who his dad is. And she's right. And she and I had a short back and forth. I'm not going to bore you guys with the entire conversation. Coop, our guy, hanging, HANGNWITCOOP, hanging with Coop. He said stereotypical. Well, it's supposed to say stereotypical. I ain't going to blast you off like that, homeboy. Stereotypical sports parents.
Woodward Academy of Education.
Over parenting at its fine. He's one of those bisons or whatever they are. I know what it is. Don't kill me, dude. I know. What is it, the Pirates? I've learned my lesson. He said, oh, okay. Sorry. I got a request for.
Let's go!
Yeah, hey,
yeah!
My bad.
Turn up! Turn
my
up!
bad. So I should have hit that during the B.O.B. intro.
B.O.B. Yeah.
Here's another one from adventurous_cap81. He says it's overparenting. Every parent thinks their kid is a star. Even though he's Diddy's son, that doesn't get him playing time. Let the coaches do their job. Isn't he just a freshman anyways? And then he and I had another back and forth with me telling him. It was so funny. I was like,
that's how irrelevant he is.
I was like, he's a redshirt junior. And he was like, what? He a junior? He's still a redshirt? And I was like, no, that's not what that means, homeboy. That means he's a senior in the classroom but a junior on the field. So that was kind of funny. And one more here. Big.
That sounds like me. Go ahead.
Big_daddy Maica, Maica. Not sure if this is a female or a guy. That says Big Daddy Maica. All right. He says he was just being a normal parent who wants to see his son play and become great. Every parent wants to see their child become great. The coach drove Diddy to do what he did. See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a college football team. There's 80 kids plus on that team. He's not a normal parent. He's the definition of abnormal because the normal parents weren't there. Or they weren't running up there because their kid got yelled at, or because no kid from the projects from Compton, he's not running back to his mom saying, "Mom, the coach yelled at me," because she's gonna say, "I don't give a damn. They paying for it, ain't they? Are we paying for it? No."
You know what? I so wish like Mike Singletary had been this coach at UCLA that Diddy ran up on. Like I just so wish he's like. That's the video I want to see. Somebody like power bombing Diddy, like Diddy running up on somebody.
He's one of those. He's one of those Bible thumping dudes, and he's learned his lesson from doing all that. That's the reason he ain't in the NFL. Well, wait a minute.
Right.
Oh yeah, because he was with Leslie Frazier, and then Leslie Frazier got the old heave ho. So that was that. So yeah, I felt it was an interesting response. Some of the interesting responses. I didn't save any of the stuff that I saw yesterday, which I probably should have if I would have had it on top of the mind, and read it to you guys today. But I paraphrased it earlier for you guys, and I just think it's weird because it's a different dynamic. It's a dynamic that many of us don't know and will never know. Like we won't have the time. Like if your kid signs with, like we're in Atlanta. Let's pick a school close. If your kid signs with Valdosta State, as close as that may be in the same state, let's say, let's go even closer. Let's go Clemson. 2 hours away. You still ain't gonna have time to be showing up at no workout. We're not even talking about practice. Okay, about Allen Iverson thing, but seriously, it's not even a real practice. It's a workout. Like regular people, we're not gonna know that. So when somebody says, he's doing what a regular parent would do, no, he ain't. A regular parent's at their damn job, keeping the lights on around his piece.
But let's just take a step back. Something that you said when you introduced the new angle of the story. This young man goes off to work with Diddy's a personal trainer hired by Diddy and comes back out of shape. Now, see, it would be my thought that Diddy has enough money that he could pay like a top-notch trainer to really have this boy looking like, Kerry Von Erich when he come out to practice.
He might have. He might have though, because there's a big difference. There's a huge difference between somebody walking around ripped and being in football shape.
And being in football shape. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I thought so. So basically, he was like gassed or whatnot, didn't have wind or whatnot.
I would assume that. That's the problem.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's one of those. You might think you're doing a service by saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get the best guy, the best trainer. He's gonna get you ripped." Then you get on the football field with dudes who've been out in the sun, 100-degree weather, getting it in, getting their bodies acclimated, and you like, hell no, this ain't the same thing as being in the gym. It's hot as hell out here.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, I talked about it yesterday, and we'll move on here in just a second, but it's more of an injustice being done to the kid than Puff. He'll beat the case. He'll plead down, lawyer up, and get it. And then too, the people at UCLA, I read it today, said they don't even want him prosecuted, and for good reason.
Right.
Like they don't want to spend time doing that. They gotta get a football team. They got to beat Oregon and beat Arizona State and beat USC. Yeah.
They got to beat USC.
They had time to be up in no damn court messing around with this fool.
Yeah.
No. So I understand why they like, yeah, whatever, just let it ride. The last thing I'm gonna tell you guys about this though, Rick Neuheisel said something else as well. He talked about the same thing we were talking about earlier, how this is the funny part. I'm going to tell you guys about this first. So apparently, Rick Neuheisel, because of course it's Puff Daddy, he was the one to give them the tour of the campus, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how that tour went, dude. Quote, I took them on a campus tour. A half hour into it, Diddy asked me who I was. He said, I'm
the coach.
Quote, tell me what you do, Rick. I said, I'm the head football coach here. He said, you're giving us a tour? And then Neuheisel said, absolutely. This is my school. This is where I went. I want to give you guys the feel of what it's like to be a student, end quote. That's a problem. It's a problem on a couple different levels. First of all, I'm going to say this. It's a problem in the sense that This is the biggest school coming after your kid. It would probably behoove you to know who the coach is, but here's the second problem, and here probably is the most important part of the problem, is that now, see, back in the day, like when I got recruited, people had to call my house, and so my mom would pick up, so they had to speak to my mom.
Right.
Not no more.
Right.
They call your coach. The coach gives you the kid's number. You call the kid. So the coach is talking to the kid. And you remember that story about Kellen Winslow, senior? Matter of fact, it was Rick Neuheisel at Colorado. Rick Neuheisel was, him and Kellen Winslow Sr. know each other personally. And at no time while recruiting his son did he talk to this man. He was like, hell no, my son ain't going to school there. Are you kidding me? Because why? That's real dad stuff. You know what I mean? Respect my house, pimp. He's a boy. I'm a man. You talk to the man of the house when you need to get something passed by the boy. So now that's where we're at. Kids texting back and forth with the coaches. Now that they've relaxed all the texting, is you can text as much as you want to now.
Right, because that's how you end up with situations like how Mark Richt got in trouble because he accidentally butt down one of the recruits. Remember
allegedly.
that? Like
allegedly.
Yeah.
But now, since that's happened, it's been relaxed. You can text him as much as you want to now. The other thing was where Neuheisel talks about the recruiting process as it relates to Justin Combs. He says, God dang it, where is it? All right, let me paraphrase. Basically, he said a good part of the reason that he got recruited was because of his dad, which a lot of people insinuated at the time, knowing that the kid wasn't, that good of an athlete or good of a football player. A lot of people was like, "Oh, come on now, how the hell is this 5'5", 160-pound kid at UCLA?" Well, Rick Neuheisel spilled the bean because he don't have no reason to cover it up anymore. He says, "Quote: When you're weighing the assets of a youngster, of what a youngster can do for your program, there's no question being Diddy's son had something to do with it." End quote. He explained this via Chris Vanini of CoachSearch.com. He goes on to say, quote, "Justin is a great kid. His problem was his size." Exactly what I just said. Continuing the quote, "He's not big enough to be a dominant player. Could he be productive? Yes. The fact his father was an influential guy played into my decision to go ahead and offer him." End quote. That's straight from the guy who offered the scholarship. It's like, this is no rumor. This is not somebody like, you know what I think happened? No. This the guy. It's actually him. The proverbial horse's mouth is what we're hearing this from. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough look, man. And then the report that now, a lot of his more prominent teammates, they want to see him. They want to see him back on the team or back with the team. Yeah, I can see why. I remember hearing stories of Deion Sanders while he was playing baseball, paying for all his teammate stuff, giving them money. And
the money,
and things of that nature, riding him around in his convertible. Yeah. He tells those stories frequently. So this kid got a Maybach. Look, I'm going to tell you this. There's probably two things that top the list if you're a football player. It's ball and lady parts. Ball, lady parts, and then somewhere after that, there's like class. Somewhere.
That was like when Lil Bow Wow, not Bow Wow, but Lil Romeo, that went to USC. But the whole deal was that they had offered him. It wasn't even about Pete. They had offered Romeo a scholarship because him and DeMar DeRozan were best friends,
right?
And they were trying to land DeMar DeRozan, and so. He ended up going, and there was the same thing there. They were like, man, because Romeo was there, they were like, they had everything. That's where everybody hung out. They had, all the chicks and all this stuff. So,
but to his credit, I think that, one, he went there and got his degree. And two, he didn't make no waves when his dad didn't make no waves when there. It was just he went to school. He showed up, went to school, played a little ball, and then bounced. You feel me? This situation here, I'm embarrassed for the kid, man. And I know it's hard for you to be embarrassed when your dad's Puff Daddy and, that's happening. But, yeah, because now you got to go back in the locker room and look at those kids. It's just weird. All right.